Today's video is all about how to not be a watch snob. Now, I've seen this a lot on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. There's just so many people who go about it in the wrong way, I think. I think that the best way to go about being an enthusiast and fan and lover of watches is to be open-minded, which is the first step in this concept of not being a watch snob, right? Because the watch world is very diverse, okay? And there's beauty and craftsmanship and everything from the $50 Casio to the $50,000 Patek. And I think everything in between has its own version of beauty. And even the ugly things, you can find eventually, I've found that a lot of times things change. The watch that you used to think was ugly starts to grow on you. And same with the price point. So I, not too long ago, was not really into the cheaper Casios and all that stuff. Like, I liked them before, then I went away from it. I was like, I wouldn't really wear those. That's kind of stupid. And like, I didn't like wearing it when I put one on. Now I'm kind of like, if I were to travel the world out of a backpack, I'd probably sell my luxury ones or store them and then just get some kind of a G-Shock or something like that. Because there's different concepts and purposes behind all of the watches. So I think you have to be open-minded in that there is sometimes with a watch a different role that is fulfilled. Now, when we do think about that, one of the things is having respect for those roles that aren't yours. That's what the snobbiness is it's a disrespect for anyone who's not in your stage or even your implied stage. It's a lot of times there's fakers, but let's say somebody is of very high financial status and they look down upon the Casio or something like that, right? Just because somebody has a lesser watch doesn't mean they're lesser. You'll see fanboys who are true watch lovers of the beauty and the craftsmanship and the whole concept around watches. They will have their beaters, their Casios, not Casios, but let's just say cheaper watches, right? So the difference is that one type of watch person loves watches all around, and the other one doesn't have any true appreciation for watches. They're just into the status of them. And they scoff at lesser budget watches. And that's a lose-lose game. So thinking of watches as a status symbol is the first way to start being a snob with watches. It's about appreciating every single thing and having a passion for it. So you can share that enthusiasm, be in the watch world, and like-minded people make actual friends and not just be a dick about everything, right? Because, a lot of people, they don't start out all the same, right? You weren't born with your luxury watch. You earned it. And if you did come from money, then it shouldn't even matter at that point. You should realize that it's not everything and that more of us are equal, right? So keeping that kind of gratitude and that appreciation and remembering where you came from is very important to keeping yourself from being a watch snob. And then, of course, when it comes to practical day-to-day things, we want to diversify our exposure to different types of accounts, say on social media. Pay attention, go on Amazon, look at the watches, put in like a price point, like $100 and as a max, and look around. You'd be surprised. There's some really beautiful things. I have a couple. It's great. So I think that just having the luxury watches as the main thing that suits you, and that must be the only watches that you have, is ridiculous. I mean, you don't go to the gym in all your really, really expensive gear if you're just going to sweat in it, or, work in the yard where you're going to rip it. Most likely you reserve your very high-end things for situations that call for that are nicer moments. Same with a watch. It's a tool that you wear, and some of the best stories have nothing to do with a price point. And for me, watches and always have a story. So I don't think it's tied to a price point. Now, talking watches with everyone, right? This is something that you can do in the sense that you don't have to be just in the clique of luxury watches. Find out why somebody has their watch. It may be ugly to you. Like a lot of people do have ugly watches. I give you that. But you can't think of yourself as better than them because they have bad taste. They haven't like learned, or maybe they just do have it, and then maybe it'll grow on you. Example, the Rainbow Daytona. For me, I thought it was a nasty watch for a while, but now I'm like, oh, I would love that. Right? So it's important to learn about the watches too, because you never know. Sometimes those little weird ones are like really cool. A Casio A100, for example, I was like, oh yeah, I had one of those when I was a kid. Turns out that it was the same watch in Aliens, the movie. And I'm like, oh, that makes it even cooler. So I want one of those, et cetera, et cetera. And then when we are talking and thinking about it, a lot of times the new people are the most passionate and they keep the world alive. It's so much nicer when there's this energy in there. So to knock them down and be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, that's this, and correct them all the time. It's stupid. You want to encourage them, feed off of them like they're a child, like live vicariously. Imagine you're older and your kid's seeing like an amusement park for the first time. You get to experience that amusement park like them for the first time. So I approach new people into a hobby like that. Like, yeah, no, they don't know anything. It's fine, but they're happy and, they're wagging their tail, and that's great. Just keep them happy. Don't be a dick. And then actually wear one of the cheaper watches. Wear it for a while. See what it feels like. See what it's like. Maybe go to the beach in one, or camping trip or something like that. Wear it for the gym. Something that would make sense for you if you're not used to it. Keep yourself grounded and humbled. It's really important to do something like that. And then, of course, keep unsolicited advice away, right? You don't have to tell everybody what your watch costs, or, just kind of rub things in their face. Or talk about a model that might be better or something like that. Like, people love their watch because it's theirs. And this is really important. It doesn't matter if it's a good watch, expensive watch, even if it works. I know a person that keeps a broken watch on all the time, and it's fine. So if you're looking for the right watch for you, especially within your budget, and without any snobbery or any kind of preconceived notions of what's cool or so on, we want to find the tailored timepiece to you. Hit us up at Tailored Timepieces and we'll take care of you. I hope you enjoy this video. Take care. Cheers.